In 2018, the appropriately named Twitch user GrindGod, formerly Erroneous Gaming, completed a challenge in Kingdom Hearts wherein he reached the max level of 100 in the tutorial area of the game, Destiny Islands. Doing so took him around 210 hours. He then went on to do similar challenges in Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 for about 495 and 284 hours respectively. An impressive feat to be sure, but it got me thinking. How many hours would it take to do a similar challenge in Dark Souls? First, let's establish what the maximum level in Dark Souls actually is. Different classes in Dark Souls start with different levels, but the stats don't exactly match up to the level. So while one might expect you to want to start with a Pyromancer, as they're the lowest leveled class, you actually need to start with a Sorcerer. As the Fextra Life wiki states, the highest level possible when all 8 stats are at 99 depends on the starting class and lies around level 710. Max level is 713 when starting as a Sorcerer, as they have the lowest resistance. Then 711 as Knight or Thief, 709 as Wanderer or Pyromancer, or 710 for any other starting class. The wiki also states that the number of souls you need is 1,692,438,971. So now we have our goal. We simply need to work out what it takes to achieve it in the Undead Asylum, Dark Souls' starting area. We'll start with the Sorcerer and choose the Twin Humanities as our starting gift. I'll explain why later. We'll move through the area as normal. I'm going to take care not to kill any undead so that we can get an accurate idea of the amount of time this will take. In the Undead Asylum, we are guaranteed a certain number of souls. We get 100 souls from Oscar's eventual death, 2,000 souls from the Asylum Demon boss fight, who will also drop another humanity for us to use, and we can get another 200 souls from the Soul of a Lost Undead near the end of the area. So we'll pop that itemized soul item, as well as the 3 humanities in our inventory. Now, for something that wasn't planned, one of the undead from just before the fog gate attacked me. It's actually kind of nice though, as he quickly shows why the humanity is so important. You see, with humanity, your item discovery increases. This is the rate at which items drop from defeated enemies. The more your discovery increases, the more likely it is that you'll receive an item. So why do we need enemies to drop items for this? Well, weapons in Dark Souls degrade their durability over time. The dagger that we use as durability will slowly decrease until it eventually breaks, but by that point we already won't be doing enough damage to keep collecting optimal souls from the enemies. As evident by the undead we just killed, they're capable of dropping broken straight swords. However, broken straight swords do very poor damage and will significantly increase the amount of time this challenge will take as a result. It even takes multiple backstabs to kill the undead, which are some of the weakest enemies in the game. What's the solution then? Beyond the undead by the fog gate, there's another enemy called the Undead Soldier, who has more health than the normal undead. More importantly, he has a 2% chance of dropping a longsword. That chance is increased due to our item discovery being bolstered by our humanity count, to the point that we can reliably assume if we kill this undead soldier with every run, we can be given a steady stream of longswords to continue this challenge indefinitely. Now for the numbers. How many souls do we get from the 5 enemies we need to kill for the most efficient route of collecting souls? First, the standard hollows will give us 20 souls each. We can actually improve this with a backstab though. If you're able to kill an enemy for 150% of its total health, enemies drop 20% more souls, bringing our yield to 24 souls per hollow. It also helps that a backstab is a quick and efficient method of killing these enemies anyway, so it's ideal to perform it even if we don't get more souls from doing so. We have 4 hollows for a total of 96 souls. Then we kill the hollow soldier, granting us an additional 80 souls. We're unable to break the 150% barrier even with a backstab, so no extra souls from this guy. So, in the best case scenario, we're looking at 176 souls per attempt. Now, how fast can we do an attempt? This took a while. In fact, it took 81 tries for me to get the attempt you're watching. Timing begins as soon as I close the bonfire menu, and ends when my character sits back down in the bonfire. I was hellbent on getting the time within 1 minute to make the math on this a lot easier, and I just barely managed to do so. Enemy AI was not cooperating with me, and it made doing this a lot harder. The first hollow would jump off the stairs, the next 2 would move too slowly or be in bad positions. The bow shooting hollow would hit me just after I finished a backstab. Sometimes I wouldn't roll after jumping off the ledge. It was a mess, but I managed it. So now I have my variables for what would be the best case of doing this attempt. Now, I need to do the math. 1,692,438,971 souls. Minus 2,300 souls from Oscar, the Asylum Demon, and the Soul of a Lost Undead, that's 1,692,436,671. 176 souls per minute is 10,560 souls per hour, so 1,692,436,671 divided by 10,560 gives us the number of hours this would take, which is 160,268.62. Rounding up to 160,269 hours, that's equivalent to 6677.87 days, or 953.98 weeks, or 249.54 months, or 18.29 years. Bear in mind, this figure does not include time for sleep, work, and no bathroom or eating breaks. A solid 18.29 years of gameplay to achieve this result is the best case scenario. Unfortunately, that still isn't the end of it. There's one more problem we have to deal with when it comes to this challenge. The maximum capacity of souls we can carry at one time is a measly 999,999,999. In order to reach the number of souls we need, we'll actually have to reach a ridiculous number of souls, die to leave a bloodstain with those souls, and make sure we don't die again for the remainder of our grind for the rest of the souls. Once we've gotten enough, we must go to Firelink Shrine, level up, then return to the Undead Asylum to get our bloodstain, and go back to Firelink to perform the remainder of the leveling. As if we needed another challenge on top of all the other stuff. But despite that, it's all still doable. So now there's only one thing left to ask. Who's up for the challenge? Thanks for watching this video. I'd like to thank a few people for helping me make this, namely GrindGod for giving me the idea of making this video in the first place, Visery for helping me with the math on this, which I'm utterly terrible at, the Speed Souls Discord community for clarifying some misinformation and misconceptions I had when doing some preliminary testing for this video, and Illusory Wall for being an inspiration on obscure or strange topics for Dark Souls videos. I'd also like to thank Catalyst for attempting to help me with some of the free camera shots. Thanks for watching. You can check out some of my other videos, most of which are based around games, or check out my podcast on the Crisp Crater channel. See ya!